This is Vision 2015, engagement, focus, accountability. This is how you create a successful strategic plan. And what do you get out of that? Profit. Profit. Anybody here want success, profit? Are you all in on this, right? Studies show this. Now, this is not just me saying this is true. There's a great story, Gallup organization. Everybody's heard of the Gallup organization. They're the ones that call you at 5:30 at night. They also work with companies. And when they've gone into companies, they did a study called the Q12 study. And they ask people questions about what's it like working at your business. And they ask your employees this. And they ask people across thousands and thousands of different companies, millions of different employees, and they collected all this data, and they did it individually. And then what they figured out was, hey, wait a minute, we've also been collecting profit and loss statements from all these different companies. So we can take a bunch of accounting firms and look at what they're doing internally and see which ones are making more money than the ones that aren't, and see what the people say differently internally. And they came up with these 12 questions that you can ask your employees that accurately predict your profitability. 12 questions. There's 2 of them that jump out at me when we talk about strategic planning. Actually, there's 3 of them that jump out at me when we talk about strategic planning. And here's one of them. I know what is expected of me at work. If you go around to your employees and you say, do you know what is expected of you at work? The higher a rating they give that, the more successful you are. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that I just show up every day and I just do what I'm told to do? No, that means I know exactly what's expected of me. I know what success looks like. Now, does that come from strategic planning? The definition of success? You bet it does. Hugely important. Another question or statement that you can ask your employees, the mission or purpose of my company makes me feel my job is important. The mission or purpose of my company makes me feel that my job is important. How many of you have a mission statement? How many of you have a mission statement? It's about 70, 80% of the room right now. How many of you could tell me what your mission statement is without looking it up? I see a lot of the nonprofits in the room are raising their hand. I like that. I locked eyes with somebody in the audience, debating asking her if she knows what her mission statement is. But I won't call her out on it. I'll be nice. Friend and client, so I'm a little afraid of just calling her somebody out on it. Yeah. It's not really so much of whether you know what the mission statement is, it's whether you feel that mission, right? Human beings, when they go to work, they need to feel like they're accomplishing something, right? Anybody not like that? When you show up to work every single day, you need to know this is why I am here and this is what I am trying to accomplish. This is the vision and mission of my organization. This is where we're trying to head, both long-term and short-term. And that is exactly what strategic planning is for. You need to know where you're heading. And I'm not just talking about the industries where a vision and mission sounds like it's really important, like nonprofit industries. I'm talking about every single business, because you spend so much of your time at work. We want to make sure that it's important time, right? You need to have a great vision and mission for your organization. And the last thing, in the last 6 months, someone at work has talked to me about my progress. In the last 6 months, someone has talked to me about my progress. Now, why is that strategic planning related? Because how do you define progress? Has anyone ever sat in an employee review where you were being reviewed by somebody and they said, you know what, you're doing great? And you said, thanks, right? Is that very motivational? Is that exciting? Does that really tell you what you need to be doing next? Now, what if you sat in an employee review and they sat down and they said, our goals are this, this, and this, and you're working specifically towards this, and what I need from you to be really successful here is for you to help me to do this, this, and this, and we're going to be successful as a team, and we're going to accomplish this vision together. Is that motivational? Is that exciting? Yes. That's the difference, okay? These things are absolutely linked to profitability. Here's what the study shows. Mission-driven companies are 5 to 15% more profitable. Do the math in your head right now. Think about your profit, 5 to 15%. Put that number in your head. Is that worth a lot of money? Yes. Yes. 15 to 30% lower turnover. 15 to 30% lower turnover if you're a mission-driven company, because those people that come in every day know why they're there. And that is so important. And you know how much money you spend on turnover when you lose an employee? It's amazing how much money you lose. A low-end estimate for a relatively unskilled person coming in, by the time you've trained them, hired them, and done everything, is $3,500. And that is a very low-end estimate. When you start talking about a skilled position that takes any kind of training, you're well into the 5 digits and sometimes 6 digits on the cost of one person turning over. So 15 to 30% reduction in turnover. 30 to 50% fewer accidents. People are more careful at work and more mindful of their job when they have a purpose for what they're doing. If anybody's had struggles with safety and anything, this will blow your mind. You mean if they're more vision driven, then they're going to be more careful at work? That's what the study shows, by a lot. Okay, now what about engaged employees? What if you could have a vision and mission out there, but also engage your employees in that vision and mission? What if they were all in? What if this is not just a management function? It's going to blow your mind right now. If they're also engaged in what they're doing, these are the results. 18% more productivity from those employees who are engaged. 12% more profitable for the company, and a 51% lower turnover rate. If you're sitting down and you're doing some math right now, you see the opportunity that's in front of you. This is why you're here. This and the incredible lunch, right? But you're here because you want 2015 to be like this, where your profitability is up, your turnover is down, and you guys have a really clear focus on what you're accomplishing next.